What if I told you that the very idea that you have to pay money for all your food is an epic injustice?
The U.S. Labor Department said Thursday over 6.6 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits over the past week as the pace and scale of U.S. job losses is set to rival the Great Depression. In Florida, billions of dollars worth of tomatoes, squash, and other crops are rotting in fields as supply chains that normally provide the food service industry with fresh produce have broken down.
Jeff, Krista, just look at this line of cars stretched for blocks filled with people waiting on food to feed their families. It's a sobering image of how COVID-19 is affecting thousands of people right here in our community.
Rise in unemployment has more and more families asking for help. And tonight, local food banks tell our Gary Horger if something doesn't change soon, they will run out of food in just weeks.
What's up, y'all? Sheeta Davis, really Nourish. I believe that your money and your access to food should get a divorce. You probably paid for about 90 to 95% of all the food you ate last week, last month, last year. The other 5% is you getting treated to brunch every now and again, or somebody took you to lunch, your mama brought over some food because she loves you. But apart from that, since you moved out from the rents, you've been exchanging currency for pretty much everything you eat to sustain life and health. And if you've had kids by now, the financial burden of food has got that much bigger. Recently, it has become glaringly obvious that linking up health insurance with jobs was an epic fail. And it took this coronavirus pandemic for us to see that. We are also beginning to see why it was so unwise for societies worldwide create such a close connection between how much money you make and your food security. Which makes me wonder, why is no one begging the question that if nourishment is a basic human right, then why is it that losing your income means losing access to it? If we're all forced to pay for 90 to 95% of what we need to sustain life and health, then how are we supposed to get food if we lose our jobs? Also, if you lost your job through no fault of your own, should you be now punished for that while losing your food rights? Check out what Kim Iverson had to say last week about unemployment in America.
So going into the poverty aspect of this, they're reporting that we are seeing more and more people showing up to banks, food banks than ever before. And the food bank issue is dire. I mean, people are being denied their unemployment. So when they say, oh, okay, you're going to get unemployment, you're going to get however much your state gives you plus $600 from the federal government. Of course, that stuff's not rolling out anytime soon. People are being denied unemployment. They're not knowing how they're going to survive. And the food bank lines are getting longer and longer and longer.
Why is it that when a pandemic comes and hits the world and renders you jobless, you are forced to compromise the amount and quality of the food that you and your tribe can get, even forced to beg now for the very basic thing that you cannot sustain life without? How about the fact that when you grow up in a low-income household where money was always tight, the low standard of food your family had access to, mainly from supermarkets, means that you are sentenced for life to higher risk of diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and now higher risk of complications if you get COVID-19? Why is that? What if you could simultaneously increase the quality and quantity of the food that you have access to and decrease the amount of money you spend feeding your tribe? My best guess is that up until the point that shelter-in-place orders were imposed on literally millions of people worldwide, most city folk paid for, with money, as much as 90 to 95% of their nourishment. It's probably more right now. As for the other 5 to 10%, well, under normal circumstances, even in cities, we share food. Although under the current circumstances, we're probably doing a lot less of sharing. And maybe some of your urban households, and those of y'all living in the suburbs, keep a little garden in the backyard. Even if it's just in the summer, it counts, right? or some little pots with some little herbs or some stuff growing on a windowsill or in window boxes. But still, the lion's share of what y'all eat, y'all use currency to buy. And how most of y'all get that currency is, or was, by working a job. Wage slavery, and you're forced to pay for almost all your food, like 90%. What if you could reduce that number by, say, 20%? What would you do with that extra money? Think about life after Rona, with more of both food security and disposable income. How much better would your life be? Guys, we're already having this conversation about the new food resource equality economy. The group is on Facebook and it's called Get Free. The link is in the show notes, so make sure you click that and come to the table. And if you believe in food equality for the whole world community, hit these before you go. Because I heard that the more you do that, the more viewers get to see this video and this channel, so they can learn about this also. And then suddenly millions of us are all getting woke and organizing, working together to get free, all because you believed enough to click and share and put somebody on. This is the Really Nourish movement. If you're new to the channel, check out these videos to learn more about the new food philosophy and the food resource equality economy concept. Yeah, I need to make something for my kids to eat now, but I'll see y'all again in a bit.